How does magic work in the world of The Witcher? How does the Witcher universe function? What laws are at work in it? And what led to the fact that the universe is exactly as it is described in the books and games of the Witcher series? What is magic? Where did this power come from? Why did it penetrate into the ordinary material world? Questions upon questions. However, clear and unambiguous answers have never been given to us throughout the entire existence of the Witcher franchise. Instead, we are provided with hints, short phrases, guesses, and character observations. In this video, we have gathered all the scattered information and like a puzzle tried to put together a picture of the Witcher universe. With this picture, we will at least attempt to give answers to all the questions we posed at the beginning of this video. We will share everything we've discovered through our research. Because you're on the Old Witcher channel. Before we begin, as always, we would like to thank our patrons. Thanks to them, we can create videos about the Witcher universe regularly, almost every week. Their support motivates us and helps our channel grow. In any case, grab yourself a hot drink. It's gonna be very interesting. How was the universe born? To understand what magic is, we need to travel back millions of years in the history of the Witcher universe, to the moment of the origin of all things. The little evidence available suggests that all forces, both material and immaterial, arose from primordial chaos. These forces emerged when order appeared in the chaos. There was, and still is, an intangible war between order and chaos. This war gave birth to planets, matter, and the planes of existence. Villain Trettenmirth, in the guise of Borg 3 Jackdaws, said, "But at the root of it lies some idea, the conflict between the forces of order and the forces of chaos, as a sorcerer acquaintance of mine used to say. A very simple thing, that which represents chaos's menace is the aggressive side, while order is the side being threatened, in need of protection. As a result of the battle between chaos and order, the material plane of existence came into being. Along with it, other planes appeared, the elemental planes, where the four primary elements, water, fire, earth, and air, existed. The demonic planes, inhabited by powerful and intelligent beings who had a deep understanding of the universe and could control many of its processes. And magical planes. Magic, as we can deduce from the few pieces of information available, is the power that is released when order and chaos fight, so to say. It is the residual energy of the battle between these two primordial entities, filling the entire cosmos. The material worlds, stars, planets, and their satellites, were formed simultaneously with the planes of existence. The primal elements, fire, water, earth, and air, engaged in a chaotic dance, creating the worlds as we know them today. Worlds where the balance of these elements was disrupted, for example, lack in water or air, were unsuitable for life, but worlds where the elements were in balance blossomed in every sense of the word. As the universe, agitated by the battle between order and chaos, began to stabilize, the material, elemental, and other planes of existence separated. Everything returned to its proper place. Magic, as a residual, invisible force, circulated through the cosmos and the planes of existence, but it did not yet touch the planets. Yes, from the available hints, data from the Witcher books and games, as well as information from comics, we come to these conclusions. This is how the universe was formed. This information may not be 100% reliable, but it fits the rules by which the world of The Witcher operates. So let us accept this version and move forward in time to examine the universe as it is described today. What has happened and how does it work? The design of the universe. There are many worlds with evolved life in the universe created by Sapkowski and developed by CD Projekt Red. Some worlds could be alive, like the world of The Witcher and the world of the Ainel Elves. Others are dead, such as the world with a dying sun or the world with an intelligent ocean that dried up due to climate change. There are also worlds in the grip of the White Frost, experiencing an ice age. These worlds are not completely dead, for they may be reborn once the climate changes to a warmer one. Naturally, there are many uninhabitable planets scattered throughout space, much like in our real universe. However, what fundamentally distinguishes these worlds from our own is the Great Spiral. What is the Great Spiral? The question is indeed complex, but based on the existing information we can conclude the following. The Great Spiral functions much like the theoretical wormholes in space. It is a system of transition between different worlds, worlds where there is or was life. Therefore, the Great Spiral is most likely a man-made system created by intelligent races. But how did such a system come into existence? Finally, we arrive at one of the key events in the history of the Witch universe, the conjunction of the spheres, and the key power of this universe, the subject of today's discussion, magic. For a long time, the universe existed in harmony. Elemental beings, called geniuses, lived on the elemental planes, while powerful demons dwelled on the demonic planes. On the material plane, though, life was born and perished across various planets. Magic existed everywhere, dispersed throughout the universe, but it was inaccessible to beings on the material plane. If magic existed on these worlds, it did so in insignificant concentrations, insufficient for mortal beings to use. Then the harmony was disrupted in a single moment. We do not know exactly how or why it happened, but from the available information we can make several conclusions. First, the Ainundad, or elves, were the first to truly master magic. They lived for thousands of years. One generation could observe humanity's ancestors evolve from primates into Homo sapiens. However, the elves faced a threat. Their home world was suffering from the White Frost, an ice age that threatened to destroy their entire race. Desperate to save themselves, the elves began to experiment with the very fabric of the universe, seeking to fully exploit the power of magic. Their goal was to leave their dying world and find another, more hospitable one, a new home. It is highly unlikely that this was a coincidence. Shortly after the elves began their research, the cataclysm known as the conjunction of the spheres occurred. What was this event? Suddenly, the boundaries between worlds began to thin, and magic went into a frenzy. Rifts between the worlds opened up here and there. Portals to other planets appeared. In an instant, any creature could accidentally fall from its home world into a completely different one. Yes, it is quite likely that the elves were responsible. Almost immediately after the conjunction began, they took advantage of the situation and started exploring other worlds, searching for a new home. In some worlds, they settled peacefully, while others they conquered out of necessity, for no one could rival their magical power. Thus, the elven race survived. During their experiments before and after the conjunction, the elves ran into unicorns, creatures that literally fed on magic. Unicorns were created by the universe itself and understood its processes better than any other beings. Initially, the elves befriended the unicorns, and the unicorns helped the Ainundad. At the elves' request, the unicorns opened a large, stable gate between worlds, the Gate of Ardgaith. This occurred at the beginning of the conjunction of the spheres, or perhaps even before it, when the elves were just beginning their quest to escape their dying world and had recently met the unicorns. The unicorns believed that the elves would bring reason, peace, and civilization to the new worlds. But over time, though, it became clear that the elves were also capable of bringing war, death, and destruction. Some elves were satisfied with simply finding a new world and remained the Ain Shade. However, others sought dominion over many worlds and became the Ainel. At that point, the unified Ainundad ceased to exist. The unicorns, witnessing the elves' conquests, realized their mistake and closed the Great Gate. In response, the elves declared war on the unicorns, a war that brought death to both sides. The elves lost access to the Great Gate, and in their desperation to regain the ability to travel between worlds, they began the project of the Elder Blood. By the way, if you'd like a separate video about the Elder Blood project, let us know in the comments. Now, let us move on. Magic. According to the information we have, the conjunction of the spheres disrupted the universe's stability. But what does this mean, though? It means that the previously dormant power of magic began to permeate the planets. Living beings began to sense this immense energy. Over time, those who wished to learn how to use magic were able to harness it. For example, the humans who sailed from their world to the witch's world during the conjunction of the spheres quickly realized what was happening. Before the conjunction, they had no knowledge of magic. But after the conjunction, though, some of them began to feel an incredible energy within themselves and learned to control it, to use it to their advantage. When the conjunction of the spheres ended and the boundaries between worlds became solid again, the residual magical energy did not disappear. Magic became part of the material world, available to anyone who could tap into it. As Yennefer of Vengerberg once said, magic is chaos, art, and science. It is a curse, a blessing, and progress. It all depends on who uses magic, how they use it, and to what purpose. And magic is everywhere, all around us, easily accessible. It is enough to stretch out one's hand. See, I'm stretching out my hand. To control this immense power, intelligent races turn to the primordial forces of chaos and order, or to the other planes of existence that magic made them aware of. Magic flowed to these planes, giving rise to beings that were pure concentrations of material energy. To gain more control over magic, humans, elves, and other sentient beings sought to dominate the genies of the elemental planes or the demons of the demonic plane. They drew energy from these creatures or attempted to force them into servitude. Magic became a panacea, an incredible boon that helped entire races survive the harsh conditions brought on by the conjunction of the spheres. With its help, beings could gain power over space, time, matter, even life and death. Magic became the new norm. Those who could wield it rose to positions of power. Some could only cast minor spells and curses. Others relied on rituals and invocations. But the most powerful individuals invented magical formulas, spells, whose incantations could command the elemental forces of the universe. They stood at the top of the magical hierarchy. Of course, laws governing the use of magic were established. Some practices were forbidden due to moral concerns, while others were restricted because of the uncontrollable nature of certain magical processes. Spells were recorded in grimoires, schools of magic were founded, and magical organizations arose. Magic became intertwined with politics. Sorcerers and mages learned to draw power from the natural elements, earth, water, fire, and air, without even turning to the other planes, as these elements contain the energy of the primordial universe. Thus, we see that the Witcher universe depends on magic, just as our channel depends on your support. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and click the bell so you don't miss future installments of our videos. Let us know in the comments if you think the author got anything wrong, if something is unclear, or if you disagree with any of the conclusions. We'd love to hear your thoughts on the history of the Witcher world. And of course, thanks to all our patrons who continue to support us and help us release new videos with the same regularity. Thank you all for watching, and see you soon when the old Witcher speaks once more.